because I'm okay with spending money as long as it has a clear purpose, a clear result, and produces a quality thing in the end. I believe in equity of opportunity for all students, cultivation and diversity, and a concern for safety. Thank you.
Okay, we will begin our questions. The first question is a lead question, and it is for all of the candidates. Current bills in the PA House and Senate recommend increasing the number of counselors, social workers, and psychologists in schools. According to the recommended staff-to-student ratios, all 3 school districts represented here this evening are significantly understaffed. What are your views on this issue? And Mr. Gillott, we will begin with you.
Well, I agree with that. We do need these people, but how are we going to pay for them? That's it. The state comes up with all these ideas, but they don't give us any money to do anything. I'm for it. A lot of students need help, and we have to be fiscally responsible for the taxpayers. And once they tell us how we're going to pay for it or give us the money to do it, we will do it.
We will next go to Mr. Frederick, please.
So I mentioned a concern for safety, and that's not just physical safety in the schools. So these counselors, I think, are necessary, but basically it's going to be their job to create that sense of emotional safety for these kids also. So basically, we need to teach our kids skills such as empathy, appreciation of diversity, responsible decision making. We need to foster that sort of curiosity and put students at ease with the learning process. So one of the ways that you can do that is by instituting programs that level out disadvantages such as poverty, poor nutrition, inaccessibility to technology. So I would hope that these counselors, that is the role that they would serve if we are mandated to put those in. That basically they are there for the emotional and social well-being of these kids, not just to offer counseling to troubled issues. So it's to create a good place for them to start. Thank you.
Well, the most important thing is that we prioritize. Prioritize our spending. We need to prioritize. If it's necessary and it needs to be done, then we must do it for the kids in the school. And also, we have to make sure that we have qualified people to do that as well. I feel that if we are going to do something like that, if the state and the local, they need to untie our hands a little bit. Once I got involved in this, I realized that the state and federal things that we can't do with the school, in our school board, is really, we need to talk to our state and federal, basically our elected officials. You need to be there for us. You are part of the problem, and you need to be a part of the solution.
Thank you. In my opening remarks, I mentioned that Lewisburg Area School District made the move last year. We had a relatively large entering class into 2nd grade. We had a 2nd grade teacher retire. We chose to go to 7 classrooms instead of 8 so that we could afford to hire an additional social worker. Actually it was a guidance counselor. But the important thing is it is very much on our radar. It's something that we all talk about. This is something where as I mentioned about saving the dollars where we can, because this is where we want to put the dollars. We want to put the dollars into services that directly support kids. And we know that this is needed. There are a couple of things that have come up recently. There is more food insecurity than there has been in the past, or it's more visible or we're more aware, right? It could have been always there, but we want to make sure that we're addressing that. And the other thing that comes up is that we do have increasing numbers of children who qualify for free and reduced lunch, which often comes with other things that may be happening. They may have come directly not from preschools. They might have some gaps in early achievement, so they need reading support or they need math support. So all the, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Okay. The next question actually is for Lewisburg,
okay.
And so you may keep the mic. All right. This question is, what are your priorities for selecting a new superintendent of schools?
This is going to be a big decision. lot of people really liked Dr. Duraco. Dr. Duraco led the district and we had a lot of stability. We had really great morale among the staff. He left huge shoes to fill. With the recent resignation of our current superintendent, we are already in the process of working with PSBA to do a new superintendent search. My priorities are that the person understands their role in maintaining a high morale in our district. One of the most important things that we talk about are the relationships between the staff and the students, the parents, the community. Everyone kind of comes out and roots for the schools, and we want to keep that going. And also that everyone kind of knows each other and treats each other like family. So relationships, advancing the educational programs, maintaining all of the enriching things that we do. Everything from, we've done recently programs to increase the number of kids who are aware of being able to go to vocational school.
Okay, thank you. The next question is a lead question and is for the Mifflinburg candidate, Mr. Gillot. So let me give you the question. What impact does housing the agricultural program at Mifflinburg High School have on the district?
Well, I know the FFA program we have, to me, is one of the best in the state. And like I said, I don't know what you really want me to say about it. I just say it's the best thing, and we're going to do everything we can to keep it that way. So it's, they say it's, some of these questions, you know, it's, especially with everybody looking at me, they're very difficult.
Well, I think you actually answered it, didn't you?
But I say I'm very proud of our FFA program we have, and I will do everything I can, and I know the other districts will do, not districts, but the school board members will keep it the best one.
Thank you. You did answer the question. Thank you. All right. The next question is also a lead question, and this question is for the Milton School District candidates. How did the consolidation of Montanton Elementary work? And based on this experience, what are your views on future consolidations? We will begin with Ms. Bruno.
Well, firsthand, I can tell you, I have talked to students and I've talked to teachers, and they have said that the transition has gone over well. And the kids are happy, and the parents are happy as well. So it's been a very good transition. Owning a hair salon, I'm very fortunate. I get to speak to a lot of different people, and they've told me that, you know what, the transition has really moved along pretty smoothly, and the kids are happy, and that is the most important thing. The kids are happy, the teachers are happy with the situation as well. I have heard that some of the classroom sizes are a little bit bigger than they'd like, but that's something that the school board, if I am elected, is something that we need to really consider.
This is one where I'll probably disagree with Ms. Bruno a little bit on. I think the experiment of the closing of Montanton was a bit of a failure. The feedback that I've gotten is, yes, while the students might be happy, they're not seeing the big picture necessarily of, you know, they're in a bigger school. Bigger schools statistically tend to be less safe. There's more congestion in the traffic going into Bacher Elementary. There's just less happiness amongst the residents of Montanton and of East Chillisquaque who went to that school because now their kids are in a bigger classroom. And so basically, if White Deer is on the potential chopping block, I would fight to oppose that because I do believe that the advantages of small schools far outweigh the slightly increased cost of keeping a smaller school open.
Okay, and do either of you two